Today in the studio, as part of our series of interviews with famous duos, we have two people who've worked together for more than 15 years. Tony Morland is the boss and Anita Meadows is his personal assistant. Nothing unusual in that, you might think. But what makes this duo a little different is the fact that the business which they both help run is in fact a travelling circus. Welcome to you both.
Hello.
Hi.
Now, Tony, first, you own the circus. So do you come from one of those traditional circus families? Was it in the blood?
Oh, hardly. I had an unremarkable childhood up to the age of 15. But I'd seen my first circus at the age of about 8. And from that moment on, I'd set my heart on being part of that world one day. I didn't exactly run away to join the circus, but it was very much against my parents' wishes when I went, because they really thought I should be getting some qualifications. No, I don't think they saw much of a future in it.
But what qualified you then for the circus ring? Did you have an act?
No, it wasn't like that, really. The curious thing is that I'd never longed to be a performer. I didn't fancy leaping about on the back of a horse or juggling. No, right from the start, the thing that was uppermost in my mind was the idea of stepping out into that ring wearing the big hat and welcoming people to my circus. So, at first, as far as I was concerned, it was just a matter of getting practical experience of how the circus worked. I was happy doing any job that was going, actually.
And before long you did set up on your own, didn't you? How did you manage that?
Well, I suppose I was I'll be about 22, and my dad, who'd come round to the idea in the meantime, helped me by lending me some capital, which I added to my own savings to invest in my first tent. And from then on, I was the boss. I only had a few acts, but later I teamed up with a friend, and the circus has been a partnership ever since. I'd been in business for about 5 years when I realised I really needed more administrative support. And that's where Anita came in.
And what made you join the circus, Anita?
Well, unlike Tony, I never harboured any dreams of going off with a circus. In fact, the idea had never crossed my mind. But when Tony's tent arrived in Manchester, where I was living, I'd just been going through various family difficulties, and I was ready for a change of scene. The idea of just travelling around as the booking office clerk, which is the post that I saw advertised, appealed to me. I thought it would offer a means of escape for a while.
Yeah. She stepped into the role of personal assistant about 5 years later. Well, she was a qualified secretary, so it was a natural progression.
I can't ever remember being asked to become your PA, actually. It just sort of happened.
That's right.
But having been with the circus for a while, I'd picked up a lot about what was involved in the running of the show, and I gradually just took more on, I just did what needed doing. And I've since been on both word processing and accountancy courses to help me cope with it all.
And now I don't know what I'd do without her. I love the circus, but the paperwork would drive me crazy. And it's getting worse.
Oh, you can say that again. And it also includes a fair amount of diplomacy, which, let's say, isn't really Tony's style.
Yeah, and she also arranges things like work permits for foreign artists. Oh, that can be a real hassle. Yeah. Oh, we have a lot of laughs sometimes, though. My handwriting always comes in for a lot of stick, and Anita's the only one who can decipher it. And she's very willing to work long into the night if necessary. So, as long as everything gets done, I don't mind if she takes the odd afternoon off to do her own things. I mean, there's no clock watching or standing on ceremony here.
I guess that's where we really see eye to eye, and that laid-back approach. Without that, it wouldn't work, and I'd have moved on years ago.
Yeah.
Anita, Tony, thanks very much for joining me this morning.
you.
Oh, thanks.
Now play the recording again.